Thank you, Ms. Fullwood. Our final speaker for general public comment is CZ Whitney.
Morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. The first part of my presentation here is actually a question directed at the Chair. Are you going to allow public comment on the staff report update, specifically Planning Commissioner conduct? Could you answer
We
that
don't
question?
get into dialogue on the dais.
Well,
we'll
I'm
respond to
just
all
trying to
the
get an
public
answer to the
comment
question,
after public
I can
comment.
step down now and wait.
We will respond to all of the public comment after public comment is over. So state your question and it'll get answered with all of the others.
Okay, I'm hoping that you will allow public comment preceding planning, the Planning Department update, specifically on Planning Commissioner conduct. Thank you.
That concludes our general public comment. Now it's time for planning staff updates. Mr. Hoag?
I have a couple of things, and then I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Griffin. The first item was to talk quickly about the Williamson Act subventions. As Mr. Greening brought up during public comment, the governor did eliminate those from the budget this year. Just to put it into perspective, typically the property tax shift represented by the county's participation in the Williamson Act program or agricultural preserves results in about $10 million, and historically we've been given 10% of that back in subventions, roughly.
We can't hear you.
We've been given roughly 10% of that back, so that would be about $1 million, $900,000. Last year in the budget, they reduced that by 10%, and in this year's budget, they were going to reduce it by another 10%. So the effect of the governor's action was to eliminate about $800,000 coming back to the county general fund. Now, the next question that comes to many people's mind is what direct effect does that have on the practical application of the program? Well, it doesn't immediately, because the county has entered into contracts with the landowners that it's obligated to honor, and will continue to do so. If the county Board of Supervisors wish to make some sort of decision about how to deal with this loss of general fund revenue from the subventions through some action on the contracts, the current process would be for them to go through a county-initiated notice of non-renewal, which would require a hearing for every contract, and would require you wouldn't see the results, the full results, back to full market value for 10 years. So there's a lot of logistics, a lot of consideration that has to go into, does this mean it's the end of the program? My feeling would be, in this county, no, not immediately. But there are policy decisions that the Board of Supervisors could choose to take up later. At this point, the program will run like it's been run until we're directed otherwise by the board. And if the board does want to go in a different direction, there's a process they have to go through. So I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. Also, you will be getting an EIR. I'm changing subjects now. You will be getting an EIR on the San Miguel Ranch project, if not by the end of the day, tomorrow. And that brings up the question of how you would like to conduct the study session, which is scheduled for August 27th. And previously there had been discussions about having that at having an afternoon-evening meeting. We were originally thinking of doing that on July 5th when we thought the project would be ready then. Now that we know it's going to be ready for August 27th, we have the opportunity of doing an afternoon-evening meeting on August 27th. The board chambers is available. And there's one other item on that docket, and that is the continued discussion of the conservation open space element. We could do that in the afternoon. We could take a dinner break and then come back at 5 or thereabouts and do an evening session, and that would allow interested folks from San Miguel and the North County area to come down and participate in the study session after they get off work. So what I'm looking for is some concurrence from the commission if you would like us to schedule the meeting that way.
Well, we did get that request pretty directly from the folks in San Miguel, and they indicated that it would greatly increase their ability to participate in that hearing. It's the same kind of arrangements that we made when the Santa Margarita Ranch EIR came forward. And given the fact that we had already assured the community that we would do that, if commissioners are available that evening, I would prefer to go ahead and honor that commitment.
Yes.
I'm seeing general nods. Nobody needs to check their calendar, and we know the room's available?
Yes.
Okay, so it looks like that's going to be a meeting on the 27th that starts at 12 for the open space element, and then, say, 5:30 for the San Miguel Ranch EIR.
We could do a dinner break, start the meeting at 1 or 1:30, do a dinner break from 4:30 to 5:30, come back, do San Miguel not till you drop, but until maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock, whatever seems to be the right place to stop.
I think the community would really appreciate that.
Okay. We'd be happy to arrange that. Now I would like to turn it over for item A under staff updates to Ms. Griffin.
Before we go there, there were two more things that came up under public comment. Ms. Fullwood asked for clarification of what we did with the Los Osos wastewater project. I'm assuming that she was not in the hearing at that time. We did conclude the discussion of all of the issues related to the project, and we've continued it to August 13th when we will be considering the revised findings and conditions and the question of certification of the EIR. So that's what we did procedurally for the treatment plant. With respect to whether or not we are going to allow specific public comment on the grand jury report, it's under planning staff updates. And I guess I would refer to county council with respect to whether or not that's an independent item for public comment.
Madam Chair, I know traditionally, I'm Tim McNulty with the County Council's office. I know we traditionally don't have a separate public comment section for planning staff updates. However, I think the better part of valor might be to go ahead and allow it. I don't know how many people would like to speak on it, but it would be the cautious thing to do.
I don't have any speaker slips on it, but I'm getting the sense that there is at least two people that would like to speak to it. So if anyone who's interested in speaking on item A under planning staff updates wants to turn in a speaker slip, now's your opportunity.
I think Andy Caldwell's is in here.
Oh, it is? Oh, I thought you sorted those.
Well,
Mr. Caldwell, did you turn in a speaker slip for planning staff update item A? Okay, we'll sort through the stack and we'll find it. You can come on up to the podium then, and we'll try to find it in the pile. Go ahead.
Madam Chair, members of the commission,
We
I'm
haven't
Andy
had the staff report yet, so I'm not sure what we're responding to.
So you want to hear the report before the public comment?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Let's all hear what we're
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Cami Griffin, County Planning. The reason that we put this item on your planning staff updates is because two of the grand jury reports made specific recommendations about how the Planning Commission rules of procedure might be changed. And so we wanted to provide the commission with the board's formal response to those specific recommendations. And in those cases where the grand jury did recommend formal changes to the rules of procedure, both the department and the Board of Supervisors recommended that those formal changes not occur, either that the rules as they exist address the issues, or that what was proposed would actually be a concern relative to limiting public comment on items. However, one of the grand jury recommendations, which was to update the Planning Commission manual and provide a new manual to the Planning Commission, was implemented by the department. You received that toward the end of July. I have the not so attractive black and white version. It looked like that, only you had the nice color version.